Alright guys, Wes here, welcome back to the channel. So it's official, we are just under 100 days until The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I personally know tons of people who are getting ready to put their lives on hold just to sink their teeth into it, myself included. Breath of the Wild was one of the launch titles for the Switch back in 2017, and it was a huge deal. Not only because it was a fantastic game, but also because it was the first mainline Zelda game for a non-handheld system in over 6 years. Breath of the Wild took things back to basics while also blowing them up to a scale never before seen in the franchise, and the end result was an incredibly unique and addicting experience that many developers have been trying to replicate over the last few years, while Nintendo has been hard at work on a direct follow-up. After a number of delays and a handful of leaks, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is set to launch in a few months, and Nintendo seems to be cooking up a massive showcase to hype it up and make sure everyone is talking about it. That being the somewhat annual Nintendo Direct that usually takes place in February. So in this video, I'm going to be going over all of the recent rumors and leaks regarding a secret Nintendo Direct event that's currently in the works and what it means for the release of the new Zelda game. Also guys, real quick, I'm giving away a PS5 for 100,000 subscribers, so if you'd like to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, tweet me proof that you're subscribed, and the winner will be announced at 100,000 subscribers. There's also some bonus entries in the pinned comment. Now, as a quick recap, Tears of the Kingdom is currently set to launch on the 12th exclusively on the Nintendo Switch, assuming Nintendo sticks to that release date, and of course no surprise delays happen at any time soon. The game will have been in development for nearly 6 years at the time of launch, which is pretty insane for any game, but honestly in line with other Zelda projects. New Zelda games are always seemingly either in development for 3+ years like Twilight Princess, or they're hammered out in less than 24 months like Majora's Mask. Quality seems to be a major sliding scale with the Zelda franchise, especially over the last 5 years or so, but with Nintendo putting a ton of time and resources into Tears of the Kingdom, it seems like they really want to make sure that this one goes down in history as a worthy successor instead of constantly living in the shadow of its predecessor. Nintendo wants Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to be remembered the same way Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are, where fans debate for years and years over which one is actually the better game. That being said, Tears of the Kingdom was actually conceived as an expansion for Breath of the Wild, and a lot of the gameplay skeleton and visual style are going to feel very familiar. Zelda games often change style and gameplay between mainline entries, but with the upcoming title being a direct sequel, that's not really going to be the case as much as it was previously. Instead, most of the new ideas of Tears of the Kingdom are going to come from the level design and world building. From everything we know so far, this game is going to be an evolution of Breath of the Wild in every sense of the word, and I am super excited to see what the team came up with. With the next big Switch selling exclusive right around the corner, it shouldn't be a surprise that we've been hearing reports that Nintendo has been seriously ramping up the production of new consoles. According to a Bloomberg inside source, Nintendo is planning on increasing the number of Switches in production in April of 2023, which is also right around the time a new fiscal year starts. Fiscal year of 2022 ends in March, and the company reportedly wants to seriously crank up the number of Switch consoles that are currently being manufactured in fiscal year 2023, which would line up perfectly with Zelda's launch in May. Breath of the Wild was a massive system seller for both the Switch and the Wii U, and that was before Nintendo knew how insanely popular the game was going to be. Breath of the Wild ended up becoming one of the best-selling games of all time, so naturally the sequel is going to have crazy sales rush, no matter how good or bad it actually is. Since Tears of the Kingdom is going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo wants to make sure that there is no chance of hardware shortages, and they want to be absolutely certain that everyone who wants to play Zelda is going to have access to the hardware required to do so. So just in case you're worried that Tears of the Kingdom was going to get delayed again, you could rest easy knowing that Nintendo is full sending the May release date, and they're ramping up production of Nintendo Switch consoles to ensure that the launch goes as smoothly as possible. There's no way that this game gets delayed again, it's just not happening. With Zelda Tears of the Kingdom set to launch in May and with another delay looking unlikely, I'm guessing Nintendo wants to crank up the marketing campaign in the very near future, and it's probably going to start with a direct showcase so that the team can take a deep dive into gameplay with a couple little tidbits of story. But when could that possibly be? Now we know that the current release date for the game is set for May 12th, but what about the next reveal? With all of these little tidbits of information revealing, on top of the fact we have leaked images of a limited edition Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch that happened a few weeks ago, I think it's very likely we hear about a direct within the next 1 to 2 weeks. I don't want to get too specific with my predictions here, but personally, I think we're going to get an official announcement of the Zelda Direct, or a general direct within the next 2 weeks, like I said, and then the premiere itself will likely take place by the end of February, or maybe in the first week or two of March. But with the game coming out on May 12th, I don't think Nintendo is going to wait much longer to start the marketing campaign, and they're probably going to want at least 2 months of gung-ho marketing, which obviously can't start until after the next reveal. I think March 12th is the absolute latest we will see the gameplay reveal, but since most AAA games like to have roughly 3 months of marketing, I'm guessing the showcase will take place in late February. Especially if you look at the history of Nintendo, they like to do a big general direct, usually in February, and then another one typically in June for E3, but now that Nintendo Nintendo is kind of pulled out of E3. Maybe they're not going to have a general direct. They didn't have one last year, but we did get the big Nintendo Direct in September. On the 13th, they gave us the title reveal of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm also expecting pre-orders to go live around this time, so make sure you have your $60 or $70 set aside, or more if you're looking to snag the collector's edition Nintendo Switch console that recently leaked. Now, another recent happening in the world of Nintendo was a patent that was discovered and passed along the gaming leak subreddit. One Reddit user managed to translate it, and it basically was a patent for an image processing method that expresses objects with a sense of transparency with low processing load. One of the investors listed in the patent is actually one of the directors for Twilight Princess, which led many people to think that this patent is for something Zelda related. The patent may be a tad unclear, but the timing of the filing suggests that Nintendo is doing some big Zelda work, which would line up with a Zelda game coming out in just a few months, obviously. So while the patent itself probably isn't very exciting, the fact that Nintendo is in full Zelda focus mode, this should be good news to anyone that's needing reassurance that Tears of the Kingdom isn't going to be delayed again. Another topic that I'd like to discuss just came a few days ago from Mike Perez, a buddy of mine named Mike Odyssey on YouTube. Mike recently posted an article on his website that essentially stated that Tears of the Kingdom pre-orders may be opening up in the very near future, as Nintendo just quietly updated the Tears of the Kingdom eShop page on their website. According to individuals who know the back end of Nintendo software way better than me, the changes made to the Tears of the Kingdom eShop page indicate that it is now ready for digital pre-orders to go live, and basically all Nintendo has to do at this point is flip the switch. So what does that mean for the launch trailer or the next reveal? Obviously, Nintendo isn't going to make the pre-orders go live before they release another trailer, and they're probably not going to release another trailer without doing some kind of gameplay showcase or general Nintendo Direct, since the game is scheduled to launch in just 4 months. Less than 100 days away, guys. After all though, guys, if Nintendo was going to make the pre-orders go live before revealing the next trailer, they probably would have done it by now. Given the way things are going right now, it's safe to say that Nintendo is going to flip that pre-order switch alongside an official trailer during the next Nintendo Direct that could be just days away. Now you're probably wondering what is going to be at the next Nintendo Direct, and will we get the official launch trailer, or is that going to be something that they just hot drop on their YouTube channel? My guess is that history does repeat itself, especially with Nintendo, and I'm guessing we will have a Nintendo Direct announcement sometime next week. Now, whether or not it's going to be a big general Direct that showcases a bunch of different titles that are coming out for Nintendo Switch, or if it will be an official Zelda Nintendo Direct, it's something that we kind of just have to wait and see. There's quite a few games coming out for Nintendo Switch this year, not as many console sellers like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We're still kind of waiting to see if Nintendo will have a big Q4 game launch. For instance, a new 2D Mario or a 3D Mario coming out. We've also got that Donkey Kong game that is in the works, which is the 2D/3D Donkey Kong game that is rumored to be developed by the same studio that brought us Super Mario Odyssey. So there is a ton of things that can happen. Maybe a Metroid Prime 4, or maybe they decide to go a little bit lighter and just give us a Zelda Direct to get us hyped for that May 12th release date. I'd love to have like a gameplay preview of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't think that's what we're going to get, especially if you looked at all the marketing from Breath of the Wild. We really didn't get all that much information, so I'm sure that Nintendo is going to go with that same approach this time. 2023 is going to be a great year for video games, and we've been waiting years for a new Zelda game, and the fact that we're finally going to get the direct sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild just makes me even more excited to see what's in store. I think there are a handful of things that could go wrong with Tears of the Kingdom, but at the end of the day, if it ends up giving us the same experience but even better as Zelda Breath of the Wild, then it's going to be totally worth the wait. So keep your eyes open for a Nintendo Direct showcase in the very near future, and make sure you snag those pre-orders early just in case the physical collector's edition sells out as quickly as Hogwarts Legacy did. Also, guys, don't forget to like this video if you made it all the way through. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any future news videos. Don't forget to enter the 100,000 subscriber PS5 giveaway. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.